Welcome back to Weems Motor Co. We are back in Orlando, Florida, and you're about to find out why. Stick around. So here in Orlando, back with my good buddy Daniel. Everybody knows him as Milkbone. Got some paint work done.
Yes, sir.
Got it done in time, which is the biggest thing. And now we're lined up for a lot of work. So, what was the most difficult thing you had about doing this?
Well, a bunch of molding. First of all, a lot of body work done to it. Filling gaps, making sure everything's nice and smooth. From start to finish, that took probably about 2 weeks.
Jeez.
There's a lot going into that. Then priming it, repriming it, doing some more, filling some more, making sure everything looks perfect for this.
It does look perfect. That's the word. Perfect. Perfection.
Then you know, base coat it out, lay down the pinstriping, all the graphics and everything, clear coating it, wet sanding it, re-clear coating it, and then rebuffing everything to make sure everything's just nice and perfect so that there's no flaws in it at all. So it's a lot.
Now I have to transport it all the way back to Tampa, nice and carefully wrapped up and bubble wrap and like make sure no scratches or anything happens. So we got some work to do. We're not going to bore you with all of the craziness of driving here and all of that. I'm just going to turn the camera around and let you guys see what we're staring at, and it's amazing. All right, Daniel, thank you, my friend. Let's get this thing back to Tampa so we can get busy putting this bike together.
Sounds good.
Man, all right, so day one of assembly. It's just a little bit before 5 a.m. Assembly can be a very stressful time filled with anxiety because everything is finished nice and pretty and you don't want to scratch anything, you don't want to mar anything. So I wanted to make sure I got a good night's rest, and let's just say it was not a good night's rest. I woke up, I think it was 12:45, like, I'm refreshed, let's go start building this bike. And I'm like, no, you are not refreshed, you need more sleep. So I tried to keep sleeping, didn't work out that great. My wife gets up every morning at 4 o'clock to go to the gym. She got up, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna start getting up, start figuring this thing out. So here I am, day one of assembly, unless you count the engine. I assembled the engine. And now the goal today is to get the swing arm on the bike and get the Springer front end assembled. Two of the things that I was the most stressed about because of the paint. Oh my gosh, I do not want to mess up this paint. Milkbone did an amazing job. I haven't even unwrapped this thing. I didn't want to scratch anything. So I guess the first thing to do is unwrap this frame, unwrap the swing arm, unwrap the parts for the Springer, get everything laid out in its proper place for assembly, and let the stress begin. Here we go. Alright, so I'm sure we've all seen those television shows like OCC, American Chopper, or Biker Build-Offs. At some point in the build, there's always this moment of contention, this moment of like, oh no, that didn't happen. Well, we've reached that part in this episode. With any custom motorcycle build, any custom painting, there's always something that happens during assembly. Not everybody is perfect. I'm by no means perfect, and things happen during different portions of the build. Well, it just so happens that I forgot to tell Milkbone to not paint certain areas because of close tolerances. So what I have to do now is sand away paint on a brand new painted custom frame because we have to assemble the swing arm, and we have these really tight tolerance sleeves that fit inside, some bushings. So I have to sand away some of that paint, and I'm not looking forward to it. But it has to happen. I got to get this bike together. So fingers crossed that I don't mess something up. I'm sorry for you guys watching this, but it's got to happen. Let's do it. Alright, so got the swing arm mounted up. No issues there. Had to sand away a little bit, but got it knocked out. Now is a very stressful part. Assembling a Springer. Now, a Springer front end is made up of a lot of little bits and pieces and parts, and when you're assembling, it can be super dangerous because there's so much spring load and spring pressure. There's a few different techniques that I've seen out there to do these. I normally use what's called the ratchet strap technique, where you use a ratchet strap to compress the springs, and it gives you the spacing you need to put all the nuts and bolts and everything on the Springer. However, being that this one is painted now, it kind of puts me in a different position because there's a little bit of risk with ratchet straps, with them popping. When you go to release pressure, it could scratch. A lot of pressure on a lot of points that could mar the finish, and we don't want to mess up the paint on this thing at all. So I'm going to use a new technique that I seen on Instagram on somebody's story. It was actually Grant Peterson from Born Free. He's him and Mike Davis are the organizers. And he was assembling a Harley Davidson Springer, and I was like, man, that's a cool technique. I think I'm gonna try that with my Springer. So you guys are gonna watch and find out if this technique is good. Hopefully we don't scratch, mar, break, explode, cut ourselves. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with it. So let's try to be as safe as possible and try to get this Springer together. But like I said, these things are made of a lot of parts, man. Look at all these little bits and pieces. So like I said, there's a lot going on there. Got to get it together. Let's do it. Let's knock it out. Alright, how about this for a camera view? I just wanted to let you guys kind of get like a walkthrough on how we do this. Obviously, everything's disassembled. First thing we need to do is to set our lower springs in, which have these little stoppers at the very bottom. Simply slide those on, just like so. And then you have two sets of springs. You have an inner and an outer spring. Slide your inner springs in, make sure they're butted all the way up against the bottom. And then you slide on your outer springs. These are gonna look so killer, dude. All right, next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we protect our parts to keep them from getting any chips, scratches, or anything. So we're gonna wrap some something around them to protect them from getting messed up. All right, so we got things a little bit protected here. The next thing we want to do is to slide our front legs with the lower springs onto our back legs through the upper portions, and we can kind of set everything in place. All right, now we need to compress these lower springs a little bit so that we can get our rockers on the bottom lined up. This is where it starts to get a little iffy. We don't want to initially put a whole lot of pressure on these 2 points. They're painted, so we're going to wrap up our clamp. Make sure that the surfaces on the clamp and the surfaces on the paint are nice and covered. Matter of fact, I'll use some of this nice little foam. I'll use some rags, some tape, anything to keep from getting these surfaces marred, because we have to compress it. All right, so here's the clamp we're using. Standard DeWalt trigger clamp. I'm gonna use this to squeeze these together before, so we're gonna protect these little pads and the metal, make sure nothing that will scratch our paint. So on our initial clamping, we wanna make sure that we haven't routed any of our little foam pieces underneath springs so that it's pinched there forever and I'll never be able to get it out. But basically, I just want to compress the springs enough so that I can attach the rockers at the base of the springer. All right, now that we got everything lined up, everything bolted, now comes the scary, tedious part of compressing those springs all the way. Well, I don't think this clamp is going to be strong enough. I have another C clamp. I could possibly try that. If not, we can always go to the ratchet strap method, I guess. Let's see what happens. It may work. I'm a little scared to scratch the paint. This is an 8-inch C clamp. If I had a 9-inch, I'd be golden. Let me go ask my neighbor if he's got one. Doug's probably got one. Alright, so it's really good to have neighbors with really awesome mohawks and a lot more intelligence than myself. So we said, hey, we gotta compress these springs. We've tried a couple different options, didn't work so well. And then this guy came up with a super smart thing. He's like, well, you gotta pull this down, so why not make a sleeve, slide it on there, put your nut on, and pull the springs that way, and then we could get the clamp on. Doug.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think this is gonna be the safest route, and I don't think we're gonna scratch anything this way. So.
I believe so.
All right, show me how this thing works.
One washer.
A washer on.
So it'll slip through. Sleeve on.
Okay.
Other washer set.
Another washer.
And this fun thing here.
All right, so I guess I need to give you a ratchet or something to tighten that down, huh?
There you go.
Let's see what we got here. Hey, I feel it moving down here. Seems to be working. I'm keeping my hands in here because I feel like this is really safe, but it's probably not what you should be doing. So children, don't try this at home. So while Doug's tightening these nuts down in the slowest way possible, make sure that you head over to his website, Whiskey Bay, what?
Creative Designs.
CreativeDesigns.com. If you are looking for some woodworking, he does some amazing stuff. He helped us out with the David Mann platform. Yeah, awesome woodworker. okay steel worker. All right. We're gonna take one side off, put this nice little spring base in there, slide our small internal spring, external spring, put the nut on, and pray to God that we don't die.
Fair enough.
If we do, you'll all see it. So battery died, and it's warm in here today.
A little bit.
You broke a sweat.
I did.
Doug knows nothing about this. You guys know about this. So Doug, what's your favorite color?
Green.
Going green. Green's my favorite color too. Got something special for you. Here,
Appreciate it.
here, hold the camera. Be the camera guy.
Camera guy. Is he gonna give me like a popsicle? He is gonna give me a popsicle. That's so awesome. And
Icy Pops.
Icy pops.
Icy Pops. So
dig it.
you get green.
It'll keep us cool and refreshed.
I get the lime yellow green color.
I
So,
appreciate you. Cheers.
cheers. It'd be
Cheers.
nice if it had bourbon in it.
That's later.
Yeah. We're gonna eat these. Y'all hang around. This guy's got a nice mohawk. I miss my mohawk.
You can shave your head again.
How was the Icy Pop?
Icy pop was outstanding.
Delicious, right?
Very refreshing and cool.
Refreshing and cool. All right, what's going to be refreshing and cool is finishing this up. So, what, 30 seconds?
Sure.
30 seconds with fast forward.
There we go.
All right, let's wrap it up. Voila. Springer done. How many people does it take? Me and a neighbor.
Two.
Beautiful. All right, guys. Well, Doug, thank you for helping me out. I'm gonna have to ask you to squat down for one more moment.
I'm supposed to say something.
Yeah. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you're new around here, jump down, hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up, turn the notifications on, and let everyone know what's going on right here.
At WeemsMotorCo.com.
No.
No, did I get it wrong? I told you cue cards.
Yeah, just Weems Motor Co.
Weems Motor Co.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Peace.